Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into how one of the biggest animals on the planet seems to have cracked the code on fighting one of our deadliest diseases, cancer. And believe me, it's a biological detective story with massive implications for all of us.
So let me introduce you to the bowhead whale. This giant of the Arctic can live for over 200 years. I mean, think about that. That makes it the longest living mammal on Earth. That's more than 2 of our lifetimes, back to back.
And it's not just their age, it's their size. They are just enormous, weighing over 80,000 kilograms. Their bodies are made of trillions upon trillions of cells, way more than you or I have.
Okay, so here's the big puzzle. Every single time a cell divides, there's a tiny chance for a mistake, a mutation, that could lead to cancer. With that many cells and that much time, you'd think a bowhead whale would be a giant target for this disease. But here's the thing. They almost never get it.
This crazy contradiction is actually a famous puzzle in biology. It's called Peto's paradox, and for decades, it's had scientists scratching their heads, asking, how on earth have these giants evolved to be so incredibly resistant to cancer?
So to try and solve this, researchers decided to look at another huge animal that's also great at fighting cancer, the elephant. And it turns out, elephants have a pretty, well, let's call it an aggressive strategy for dealing with bad cells. You see, elephants are walking around with extra copies of a really important gene called TP53. It acts like a super-sensitive fire alarm for their cells. The second it detects any DNA damage, that alarm goes off and triggers something called apoptosis, which is basically just programmed cell death. The strategy is simple, but it's brutal. Just kill any cell that looks even slightly suspicious.
Okay, so the logical next question was, are whales doing the same thing? Are their cells also on a hair trigger, ready to just self-destruct at the first sign of trouble? Well, the answer was a complete shock.
It turns out whale cells do the exact opposite. Their P53 pathway is actually less active. So when their DNA gets damaged, their cells are less likely to die off than our own cells are. This just completely blew the elephant suicide pact strategy out of the water. The whale's secret had to be something totally different.
So, this finding didn't just answer a question, it opened up an even bigger mystery. If the whale cells weren't killing themselves off, what in the world was going on? The next discovery was something nobody saw coming.
So, scientists had a new theory. Maybe whale cells are just built different. You know, maybe they're just naturally more robust, and it takes a lot more damage, more genetic hits, for one of them to actually go rogue and become cancerous. I mean, that makes a lot of sense, right?
But when they looked at the data, nope, the exact opposite was true. A mouse cell needs about 2 hits to turn cancerous. Our human cells, they need about 4. And the bowhead whale? Its cells only need 3. Their individual cells are actually more vulnerable to becoming cancerous than ours are.
I mean, what a twist. The whale's body is this fortress against cancer, but its individual cellular building blocks are seemingly more fragile. This meant the real secret to the whale's amazing health had to be something else entirely, something much more fundamental.
So if the secret isn't killing off bad cells, and it isn't having tougher cells to begin with, then what is it? Well, the answer, it turns out, lies in having an absolutely amazing repair crew. And right here, this is the whale's true superpower. See, when it comes to fixing DNA double-strand breaks, which are pretty much the most dangerous kind of genetic damage you can get, bowhead whale cells are just way better at it than human or mice cells. They don't just get rid of the problem, they fix it.
So what we have are 2 giants that evolved 2 completely different solutions for the same problem. The elephant uses a destructive strategy, get rid of any potential threat. But the whale, it uses a more conservative strategy. Don't kill the cell, just repair it, and do it with incredible precision.
This was a huge breakthrough, but it immediately raised the next question. What's actually powering this super-efficient repair shop? The hunt for answers eventually zeroed in on one single molecule, a kind of master mechanic for the genome.
What they found was that bowhead whale cells are just flooded with a protein called CIRBP. That stands for cold-inducible RNA binding protein. Now, in most other mammals, you can barely detect this stuff, but in whales, it is absolutely everywhere.
And CIRP acts like a combination first responder and construction foreman for DNA repair.
As soon as a break happens, CIRP rushes to the scene. It stabilizes the broken, fragile ends of the DNA, protects them, and then helps call in the rest of the repair crew to make sure the job gets done fast and, most importantly, without any mistakes.
All the evidence was pointing to CIRBP as the whale's secret weapon. But to really prove it, scientists did something pretty remarkable. They took this whale protein and they put it into a completely different animal. The results were just wow. When they engineered fruit flies to start producing the whale's CIRBP protein, those flies lived significantly longer than normal flies. This was a direct link between this one protein and a longer life.
But that's not all. It wasn't just about living longer. These flies with the whale protein also became much more resistant to DNA damage from radiation. The whale's repair kit was actually working, even inside a tiny insect.
So this discovery basically flips a long-held belief in biology on its head. As the researchers themselves put it, the old idea that you couldn't really improve a creature's basic DNA repair systems, well, that's just wrong. The bowhead whale is living proof that you can, and that opens up some incredible new possibilities for medicine.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? By studying the unique biology of this amazing animal, we might have stumbled upon a whole new playbook for fighting cancer and even aging itself. The whale evolved a better way to take care of its own blueprint. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Could we one day learn to do the same?